My people, this is the part 2 of the Igbo girl, Oge Onobogo, still talking, but I am glad that Congressman Rep. Riley Moore spoke and put some senses to let them know, or let her know, that America knows what Nigeria is doing. So here where she is trying to make her final claim, her closing remarks, and now Riley Moore, the Rep. Riley Moore, stepped up and put her in her place. And Nigeria as well in her place, in their place. Listen.
These numbers. The violence has gone on for so long in Nigeria. So Nigeria needs to take the lead, work in partnership with allies such as the US, and there is a moment here, there is an opportunity here for folks to come to the table to really find a sustainable solution to this problem.
Hold on, you can tell she's based in America. She doesn't understand what's going on. She's been contracted, she's a contractor. She's speaking on behalf of those from Jos. She claims she's from Jos, but her name is Oge Onobogo. Oge Chukwu Onobogo. Onobogo. That's not a name from Jos, but I will leave it for another day. So now please hear what Repman Riley Moore responded. And I'm glad he said what he said. Listen to it, and I'll come back.
Thank you. I yield back.
Mr. Moore. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you very much. And Ms. Shea, appreciate you highlighting the issue of the disarmament of Fulani militants. I think that certainly would be one of these solutions. Obviously, there's not a singular one. It's a multifaceted problem that's going on here in different regions of the country, and there's a lot of complexities to it. But as we've heard, I think, a couple times here, and I do agree with, there is an opportunity here for the Nigerian government to strengthen, deepen, and broaden their relationship with the United States if they will do that in coordination and cooperation with the United States government. When I met with the delegation, as Mr. Smith met with them as well, that was one of the messages that I gave to them, is that there is an opportunity here, but you're going to have to take that opportunity. And I am very hopeful that they will do that, because myself and Chairman Smith and President Trump, we've had enough of this. This cannot continue to go on in the manner that it has, and it now has the president's attention. And I do agree that, you get all this kind of information flying around out here that many times is not helpful. I recently saw the foreign minister was in some interview, I think it was Piers Morgan, and it was the same thing when they came here and some of us spoke to them, just disputing these numbers, right? I think the foreign minister said in the last 5 years, there's only 177 Christians have been killed. I don't think there's anybody that believes that, right?
Imagine it came from a foreign minister. Yusuf Tuga made those statements. For the past 5 years, only 177. Christians alone in Biafra land is more than 10,000. I repeat, Christians alone, unalived in Biafra land, are more than 10,000 for the past 5 years. But that's Nigeria for you, Mr. Riley Moore. That's Nigeria for you. In Nigeria, elephants can fly. We used to say that in Nigeria, elephants can fly. But let's continue. Take it back and hear it again. Listen.
The minister said in the last 5 years, there's only 177.
Take it back.
And it was the same thing when they came here and some of us spoke to them, just disputing these numbers, right? I think the foreign minister said in the last 5 years, there's only 177 Christians have been killed. I don't think there's anybody that believes that.
Come
right?
on.
And I don't think that it's necessarily constructive on their part to try to downplay what's happening here. But
that's because they are doing nothing. Please, look, we came out of the womb of Nigeria. We know Nigeria. Their tactics is to delay. They would not do anything to what is happening. Do you know why? Because even the president, he's scared of the Islamic Caliphate, the rulers of Nigeria, those that Britain told they were born to rule. The president is even scared. He cannot touch those terrorists. They call them their freedom fighters. They've warned him never to touch those terrorists at all. You can only do deals with them. Do not touch them. They are their warriors. They are their freedom fighters. Those are the words of Sheikh Gumi, a man who is above the law in Nigeria, a sheikh who was banned from Saudi Arabia, but in Nigeria he's respected. A Fulani sheikh said, the bandits, Boko Haram, ISIS, ISWAP, the Fulani militias, they are their foot soldiers, they are their warriors, and Nigerian government must not touch them. And ever since, the government had to come up with a new policy known as the cheese policy. Quote me anywhere around the world. You met with Nuru Ribado yesterday. He is the NSA, the National Security Advisor to the president. Nuru Ribado, he came with a policy known as the cheese policy. Cheese policy. What do you do? What do you do with the cheese? You eat it. The cheese policy. More like a carrot and stick, but it's just a carrot approach. The cheese policy, where they feed the terrorists, they fund the terrorists, and they pay them monthly. So as we speak, the terrorists, they are on benefit. Every Monday, every month, they get paid. Every day, they get food. Despite that, they're still doing the killing. These guys are pampering terrorists. It is called the cheese policy. I wish you had asked him to elaborate more on what he means by cheese policy. That's a policy by the Nigerian government. They ain't doing nothing to solve the problem in Nigeria. They ain't doing nothing. They are liars. Their hands are tied. The president can do nothing. He is a lame duck when it comes to the Islamic Caliphate, the rulers of Nigeria, the owners of Islam, those who were promised by their master, Usman Dan Fodio, a man who came from the Arabia. Usman Dan Fodio said, and I quote, that Nigeria is an Islamic state. And also, he gave them an assignment that from Nigeria, they must dip the Quran into the Red Sea. As far as they can go, they will conquer. So the journey starts from Nigeria. And the first destination is to dip the Quran in the River Niger. River Niger happens to be towards the area of the Biafran land. We have what they call the Niger Bridge. Around that side is the Biafra land, but we have been the stumbling block of the caliphate. They've seen us as those they cannot conquer because we have the men who are ready to fight, to die, to defend our land. But unfortunately, while we're defending ourselves from the terrorists, Nigerian government did the unthinkable. The Nigerian Islamic government, they did the unthinkable. They started to send their military to Biafra land to kill us, to kill the youths, to kill the militias, to kill the night watch, those who came out, those young men who came out to defend the bushes of Biafra land. If you can defend yourself, the Nigerian military will come and do the killing for the terrorist. So please, you all need to know Nigeria, they are playing games. They want to buy time. They want to buy time. They are doing nothing about what is going on in Nigeria. They want to buy time. They want to delay Trump for 100 days. Let's take it back and listen again, please. Pay attention.
Opportunity. And I am very hopeful that they will do that because myself and Chairman Smith and President Trump, we've had enough of this. This cannot continue to go on in the manner that it has. And it now has the president's attention. And I do agree that, you get all this kind of information flying around out here that many times is not helpful. I recently saw the foreign minister was in some interview, I think it was Piers Morgan, and it was the same thing when they came here and some of us spoke to them, just disputing these numbers, right? I think the foreign minister said in the last 5 years, there's only 177 Christians have been killed. I don't think there's anybody that believes that, right? And I don't think that it's necessarily constructive on their part to try to downplay what's happening here. But Michelle, I'd ask you, how do you think about the differences, though, in between some of these statistics that have been reported, obviously, of non-governmental organizations that it seems to me have robust on-the-ground informational networks and those offered by the Nigerian government? How do we have such a huge disparity in the numbers in between what we're saying or what some of these groups on the ground are saying, and then the foreign minister saying there's 177 Christians killed in the entire country of Nigeria over the last 5 years?
Unbelievable.
That which is just hard to believe. It seems that number was achieved likely in just the last couple months. But
that's the secret. That's what Nigerian government believes. They think you guys are running with the wrong numbers. So their plan is just to delay America. They assume you are running with the fake numbers. To them, there is no problem in Nigeria. Nigeria is peaceful. Nigeria is calm. They believe you guys are the ones running with the wrong numbers. So they're in America to pretend like they are doing something, but what they want to do is get more money from America, and they will do nothing about it. Their plan is to delay Donald Trump. And I'm telling you this, no Islamic terrorist has been sent to jail or life in jail or executed. None of them has had a life sentence. But today as we speak, the leader of Biafra, KANU, a man who told us, who exposed Nigeria Islamic agenda. He is more like a whistleblower because he told us they were coming. Since 2012, he told us the Islamic jihadists, they are coming. And today as we speak, suddenly the laws of Nigeria is working. And they came with some fictitious charges against him, and he was sentenced to life in jail. Today, he was sentenced to life in jail. Why? Because they are angry with him that he was the one that burst the bubble of Nigeria. Because the Islamic Caliphate they were having is so good. Nobody was speaking. Nigerians were so funny. All they do is watch football, sing. They love to do singing, comedy, skits. So, they're very nice people. Nigerians are nice people. They don't know their right. They are still deaf, dumb, and blind. They don't know their right. They worship their politicians. So that was a time the Caliphate thought it was the best time to strike, to Islamize Nigeria. So, unfortunately for them, Nnamdi Kanu got the wind of it, and he exposed the plans of the Caliphate. And ever since, he's been a wanted man. He was kidnapped from Kenya in 2021. He was held in Nigeria for 5 years in a solitary confinement. And now that Trump has placed Nigeria as a country of particular concern, the Caliphate, they are blaming Nnamdi Kanu and the Biafrans for being the ones that exposed what is happening in Nigeria. As a means of punishment, today as we speak, our leader, Nnamdi Kanu, was sentenced to life in jail, and he was called a terrorist for just broadcasting on the airwaves. He's probably someone you would call someone on the internet, on a YouTube page, speaking. And he was sentenced to jail. He was called a terrorist. The judge could not wait. Every sentence, they placed the T word there. Terrorist, terrorist, terrorist. But the real terrorists, they're having deals with them. They're having partnership with them. They're having peace deals with them. They are putting them in the army, in the police, in the navy, in the customs of Nigeria. The real terrorists are being pampered, having a deal with them. But those who are speaking out, the freedom fighters who want to defend their land from the terrorists, are called terrorists and jailed for life. So today as we speak, Nnamdi Kanu has been jailed indefinitely. Life imprisonment is what they gave him today. Nigerian government. You see, when their system want to work, it only works on the Christians, like the other Christian who was able to fend off a terrorist, but at the same time, he used the weapon of the terrorist to injure the terrorist while the terrorist died, and suddenly the victim was given life in jail or death. His name is Sunday. I can't remember his other name, his surname, but his name is Sunday. Sunday was sentenced to death or life imprisonment. Why? Because he defended himself from a terrorist in his farm. While he was farming, the terrorists came with his cows to eat the crops. So he pleaded with the terrorists, please, can you move your cows to the other side? That was all he said. This terrorist now came with a dagger and was stabbing this Christian. That how dare you speak to me? How dare you speak to me? As he was stabbing him, luckily this Christian was able to overpower that terrorist, but by so doing, grabbed a knife, then found his way through by stabbing through and running. He didn't even know the terrorist was dead. He ran away to the home with himself bleeding. And the next day, while in hospital, the Nigerian army came. I told you about the Nigerian army. The Nigerian army came. He was arrested, straight to jail. And within a few days, he was sentenced to jail. And guess what? The same judge that sentenced him to jail for life imprisonment, Justice James Omotosho, is the same judge that sentenced Mazi Nnamdi Kanu to life imprisonment. Let us sink in. So they know what they do in Nigeria. Nigeria is a complex country where tribalism has blinded the eyes of the people. As long as it's your tribe that is in power, let him be the devil, you don't care. That's what's happening in Nigeria. That country cannot work. That country is a failed country. But let's continue, Mr. Riley Moore. I appreciate you. Let's continue. Listen and let's continue.
Groups on the ground are saying, and then the foreign minister saying there's 177 Christians killed in the entire country of Nigeria over the last 5 years. That which is just hard to believe. It seems that number was achieved likely in just the last couple months. But please.
Yes, you're right. It's huge disparity. And assuming it's not just propaganda, one of the reasons why there is a range of numbers for any particular event is that precisely because the government doesn't do any police work.
Yes.
So there's no one that comes in to prevent it or to, during its occurrence, to stop it or in the immediate aftermath. So
you are so right. There is no investigative work. Wow, I think you have done your in fact, you know Nigeria very well. You have done your assignment. There are no investigative works. A criminal comes to your house, you call 999, you're wasting your time. The police won't come. You will have to go to the police station to tell them there's a thief in your house. And they will tell you they don't have fuel, they don't have gas in the car. You will not have to pay money for them to fill up their gas in the car, which what we call the petrol. They now fill up the petrol in their car, and then they will come to your house few hours after the criminals have left. Then they will tell you, if you want them to chase that case up, you have to bribe them some money. Then you being the victim, you will now dip into your bank account and give them some money. They take the money, they share amongst themselves, they go back to the office. Then you'll now be the one chasing them every day for updates. Whenever you call, you must have some money to thank them to buy what they call a cola, like a snacks. So you must always give them a cola. They will ask you, what did you bring come? Or what did you bring for the boys? To make your job faster, what did you bring for the boys? And sometimes, if it's a case of fraud, you go to the police and tell them what's going on. You pay them, you fill their tank, and they come with you. Now, when they meet the criminal or the culprit will use from the money he stole from you to also bribe the police, the same police who you've already paid money to. So when they bribe the police, then you are now in trouble because the police will now be delaying you, playing both parties, making as much money as possible. Then later, if you're lucky, they will then go to the culprit and tell them, hey, just give him 20% of the money, okay? We'll pretend like we'll beat you up and take the 20%. So they will now come to you, take you to the station, now act like, they've beaten up that, that criminal. And they'll now say, hey, we now have some part of your money that the idiots have spent the rest. But you should be glad. You should thank God that you've gotten some part of the money. Now, on your way receiving the 20% of the money, you will now take 10% and give to the police. So technically, you are getting just, if you're lucky, 15% of your money back. Now, the criminal will also pay like 30% to the police. This is what happens almost every day in Nigeria. But the naysayers will lie. They will tell you things. So they don't keep no records. Those things are off the record. I repeat, those things are off the record. The money you pay for the fuel, it is off the record. The money you give them, for to take care of them while they check for your case, is off the record. And in most cases, they put fake numbers. So Nigeria always put fake numbers. Nigerian government, they are notorious for that. Look at Lekki. They killed youth in Lekki, but till this day, they said nobody died in Lekki. In Nigeria, elephants can fly. So I'm so glad that this lady knows Nigeria very well. You know Nigeria very well, and I was even surprised with this point that you made. Let's take it back and hear the point again. Listen.
But please.
Yes, you're right. It's huge disparity. And assuming it's not just propaganda, one of the reasons why there is a range of numbers for any particular event is that precisely because the government doesn't do any police work. So there's no one that comes in to prevent it or to, during its occurrence, to stop it or in the immediate aftermath. So the witnesses have fled for their lives. There's chaos. There's destruction everywhere. The evidence has been tampered with or been deteriorated by the time people come along. It's very hard for the local pastors and priests who are the ones there taking the body counts, helping the survivors. It's very difficult for them to do that job and at the same time do documentation. They do it as best as they can, but the numbers are far larger than that foreign minister is saying. I also—
God bless you. They are far larger. They are, wow, this lady, she knows her stuff. Respect to America, they have the records. Respect to America, God's own country. They have the records. They know Nigeria very well. Unlike Finland that fell for the okie-doke. Finland, the so-called best country when it comes to human rights. I'm sorry. Finland, they are still very naive. Finland government, they are very, very naive. They fell for Nigeria's trick. But America knows that Nigeria. I think America has a better data information of what's going on in Nigeria. Wow, I'm really shocked by what this woman said. I'm really shocked because this is something I don't expect them to know. I never knew that, they will know that, in Nigeria, the police don't carry out no investigation. There is no forensic analysis, nothing. They just tell you, don't worry, pray to God, everything will be fine. Pray to God, pray to God. That's what they tell you. They tell you to pray to God. So it's amazing that you guys know this in-depth details of the working culture of the Nigerian government, the Nigerian police, and the rest of them. It's amazing. There's the first time, because Finland, they were saying something else when it came to our Prime Minister, Master Simon Ekpa. They believed exactly what Nigerian told them. They believed Nigeria. Despite Samanepa was showing them the information, but they said, no. They believe what Nigeria said. But America understands. America knows the secret. America knows the modus operandi of Nigeria. So that's a bit, wow, that's some deep information there. Wow, my eyes are open now. But let's continue. Listen.
There, taking the body counts, helping the survivors. It's very difficult for them to do that job and at the same time do documentation. They do it as best as they can, but the numbers are far larger than that foreign minister is saying. I also want to say that I think that President Trump's designation of CPC has been extremely important. He has gotten the attention of the government of Nigeria. We've heard that there's a high-level delegation in Washington today discussing this with the United States.
I met with him yesterday.
Yeah, so I think that this has been a very beneficial exercise thus far. We'll see how it plays out.
You will see how it plays out.
Yeah, I think you're right on that.
You will see how it plays out, but please, Nigeria is a peculiar country. Nigeria can do the unthinkable. In Nigeria, elephants can fly. But let us hear Riley more before I call it a day. Listen.
And we've heard several people mention early warning systems, and I do agree with that. I think that those can be helpful. But I do want to highlight a case that just happened recently in the Plateau State. We had a pastor there who had warned the Nigerian government and said, we are under imminent threat. We are going to face an attack if you all don't send some forces here in the next 24 hours.
Yes.
We need help. Please come here and help us. The Nigerian government not only ignored it, they literally put out a press release about it, calling it fake news and hyperbole and being overblown. Well, 13 people lost their lives the next day. 13 people murdered.
Yes. That's the real news. America had the information. Thank God. I'm so happy. America has the information. And two reasons why they did nothing. That's the culture of the Nigerian system now. Like I just told you the story of the Nigerian police. Even when a thief comes to you and you call them, you're wasting your time. They ain't coming. So for you to them, hey, please, can you come around into 24 hours? How dare you do that? They will ask you, hey, bring something for the boys. And they are doing their job not because they love the job, but just because they want to make ends meet. So by saying, oh, these guys are coming in 24 hours, they'll probably tell you to pay some money for fuel, and they will assure you they will be there. But you ain't going to see nobody. So, in numerous occasions, these terrorists will tell you they are coming and nothing can be done to them. Even sometimes when the youths overpower this terrorist, they call the police. The next day or whatever, the police might come, pick up the terrorists. They don't touch them. They don't beat them. On their way to the station, they will receive a phone call. And they will tell them to release that terrorist ASAP. And the terrorists get released. So sometimes we are telling those vigilantes, why are you taking these terrorists to the police? You know what they will do. So why are you doing that? When the terrorists catch you, they don't take you nowhere. They take you to judgment. You are killed on the spot by these terrorists. But why is it that when you catch them, you hand them to the police and the police now release them? That's how complex Nigeria is. That's how complex Nigeria is. That the terrorists, they have their license to kill. They are carrying arms when they have no documentations, no ID. They are so dirty, so unkept. How can where did they even buy the bullets from? It shows you they are being sponsored. because these guys can't even speak English. They cannot even make a sentence in English. They are dirty looking ragtag animals, less than humans, but they are carrying sophisticated weapons. And you're asking yourself, how can they even afford it? A typical Nigerian cannot even be given the license to bear arms. Even if you have an arm and the police sees you, they will kill you. They'll call you a criminal in Nigeria because it's a no-no to bear arms. But these headsmen, these terrorists, these bandits, they carry arms with their cows when they are roaming around. Nobody touches them. That's Nigeria for you. It's a complex one. Very complex. Let's continue.
Christians murdered. I don't know how much an early warning system is going to work if people aren't listening to warnings that are literally over the phone. I'm not sure. So I'd say to the Nigerian government, you're going to have to, and we keep using the term, prioritize this because it's certainly a priority for President Trump. And I think many of us on this panel here today on this dais. But I just wanted to highlight that because that is the type of behavior that has to change, because, and to your point of people not trusting the government, how can you trust a government that doesn't even show up when you ask them to? How are you supposed to trust your life with something like that? You can't. Obviously, you can't. And I think that's why it's incumbent upon the Nigerian government to work with us in coordination and cooperation to address these issues. Obviously, there's going to be some type of bifurcated approach to this. The Fulani Islamic militant issue in the middle belt of the country is distinctly different from what you face with Boko Haram and ISIS in the northeast of the country, and that's probably more of a question of kinetic military options rather than some of the other things that maybe State Department could do more in the middle belt, backed up by some of those same type of at least military deterrence options in that part of the country. But I think it does need to be a kind of whole of government approach to this, but we have to have the Nigerian government as a willing partner in all of this, because the president is, as Chairman Smith just said, extremely serious about this. I'm extremely serious about this. I stay up at night. It's hard to sleep sometimes thinking about this, and I pray about it every single night. Just thinking about, my own brothers and sisters in Christ in that country just getting murdered for the profession of their faith, our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. So it is absolutely heartbreaking. But I do want to thank the chairman again for convening this hearing, as he has over the many years and been working to advocate for people of Nigeria. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Yield back.
Very much, Mr. Moore, and thank you for your leadership. Mr. Jackson.
Thank you. I'll leave it here. I just wanted to bring to you Riley Moore, where he spoke, to let you know that he understands the game Nigeria is playing. They are playing games. They brought an Igbo girl based in America to speak. Her name is Oge Onobogo, the one in green, to speak as if she's based in Jos Plateau. An Igbo girl, probably from a contract from a company firm. She was contracted to to do what she has to do in America. It's normal. But that's Nigeria for you. America, I want you to know that this girl here, this lady here, where's her again? Where's that lady? This lady here, she's not from Plateau State. Her name is Oge Onobogo. She's from the eastern region, the southeast, not from Plateau State. She's Igbo. Igbos, I'm an Igbo man as well. Oge Onobogo is an Igbo name. She is not from Plateau. To Riley Moore, please, someone should cut this part and send to, Riley Moore, and let him know that even the person who came to speak to represent Plateau State, she is not from Plateau State. Please let them know. She got to know about it. She is not from Plateau State. She's an Igbo girl based in America, but she's not an indigene of Plateau State because her name does not sound like somebody from Plateau State. I rest my case. For those that have ears, let them hear. For those that have ears, let them hear. No more talk.